I wanted to dive a little bit into that so that way I can make some correlation. Perhaps it may help some of you guys out there. Now, before I go ahead and give you guys this correlation, I'm not a scholar. I'm just looking at this and I couldn't think of any other way to interpret this in my mind. And I've looked up to see if I can find some answer to it. But so whatever I'm going to say, please, for the sake of God, take it with a grain of salt. And maybe this might help you perhaps understand this verse a little bit better than I could. Now, indeed, we tested Solomon placing a deformed body on his throne. Then he turned to Allah in repentance. He prayed, "My Lord, forgive me and grant me an authority that will never be matched by anyone after me. You are indeed the giver of all bounties." Now, with this verse being mentioned in the Quran, I think that the reason why Allah showed Suleiman this dream of a body on his throne is because I think God was trying to tell Suleiman that there will come people in the future who will try to obtain or have a kingdom like his. And so he decided to, of course, pray to God saying, "Please give me a kingdom," as we just read, "that nobody's going to have after me." Now, if we move to the modern age today, with everything that I have just said that's related to Suleiman, I think that the body that Suleiman saw in his dream was a representation of a failed kingdom that is yet to come. When you look at modern age Zionism, when you look at the idea of greater Israel, they are trying to create a piece of land that will pretty much rule the world. The Jews believe that when their Messiah returns, they will rule the whole world, and the non-Jews are going to be slaves to them. Who is the Messiah, you may be wondering? Well, Christians believe that the Messiah has already came, which is Jesus. Muslims, we also believe the same thing. So the only person that has not yet came is the Antichrist. And so I think that the body that Solomon saw in his dream was the Antichrist. God was telling him there will be people in the future who will try to have a kingdom like yours. And so when Solomon made that dream, God accepted the dream. The reason it was a dead body or an empty vessel is because it's a failed kingdom that's going to try to be recreated. The moment the state of Israel was created, it was already a failure from the beginning. Why? Because the land that they picked already had people. So you can't really rule a land, call it a home without people and a people without home, because there were already people in Palestine. So the moment the state of Israel was created, the moment they had the idea to recreate a kingdom like that of Solomon, they failed from the beginning. One, there's already people on there. Two, Solomon made that prayer and God accepted it. And the prayer was specified. Give me a kingdom like the one nobody who come after me could ever have. And so now they're trying to create a kingdom like Solomon, which is why they call it the third temple of Solomon. And who's going to be the one ruling from that kingdom is going to be the Antichrist, which is whom? The Messiah that they're waiting for. Does everything start to make sense now? Now, again, this is just what I think. It may not be 100% correct. It may not be 100% correct. But this is my guess as to why Solomon had that dream, to why they're trying to create the third temple of Solomon, so that way the Messiah can return, rule from the temple of Solomon, rule the whole world from the temple of Solomon, because Solomon has such huge power that pretty much nobody could stand in his way. He had animals, wind, human beings, and jinn on his side. He had control over these things. So his army was all around, so nobody could stop him.